All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is September 8th? Yes.
Yeah.
2024. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. It's been a great week. I'm super happy to have the working phone. It's been fantastic this week.
Dude, you don't know how bad we have it until we lose something really, really important.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You don't realize how much you use something until you don't have it for, a day or two.
You almost had it off for like, what, a month now? Almost?
A week and a half.
I thought it was almost 3 weeks at this point.
No, because I had the phone that I bought that worked for like 2 or 3 days before it had issues. So
yeah, but I mean, we're like constantly going at it. It's almost been 3 weeks and you've been having like new phones or phone issues, right?
I'd say about week and a half or 2 weeks total.
I'll stick with 3 weeks.
3 weeks? You'll stick with that.
Well, how you been, brother? Aside from, finally realizing that your phone is your life again.
It's been good. It's been good. Working, but not too hard. I just started the AMC membership where you see 3 movies a week, so I've been enjoying that.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just gonna mention really quick, if there's any horror fans, definitely see Strange Darling. It's been fabulous. Pokemon Go's been pretty chill and nice. I missed out on the Phalanx raid day today because I was lazy.
I was kind of wondering about that, but now you answer my question at that point. But hey, some things you gotta take at mental day, do your own thing.
I should have done remotes at least, but I was just like, it's sleep time.
See, as much as I love doing remotes, I don't like doing remotes anymore. Like
it's hard to justify it when it's not a Pokemon I love. I do really like the shiny for Phalanx though, so I could have justified using 1 or 2, I think.
If the odds were nice, which we were, but I don't know. It really is also justifying, even if you like the Pokemon and everything, to really use like more than $5 worth of remote raid passes at this point. So it's you can just see it in the wild at some point. I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah.
Well, since
it's
we're
definitely going to be around.
We're getting ahead of ourselves because, that's how things have gone. But we're here once again to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as everybody else. Don't forget, we are also part of Pokemon Professor Network / Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single time. We have wonderful part-time creators out there. They have a love for podcasting and gaming because it's Pokemon. And Pokemon is in all forms of media at this point. So make sure you check them out. We have a bunch of shows like Lure Up, Special Conditions, the Way Spotters podcast, Good Morning Johto, and Sleep It Off, which is also another podcast of mine. But, gotta plug in because we gotta plug in, It's like it is how it is. We do have maybe another show coming up pretty soon, so we'll talk about that when we get there, once more information is updated. Sneak peek, y'all. Anyways.
I just learned about ribbons today.
Brah. Oh yeah, wait. Actually, it really has it been that long since you opened Pokemon Sleep?
Yeah, because I haven't been able to set it up on a new phone.
All right, let me ask you another question before we get into topics. Yeah, I know. Let me ask you another question about that because I'm very curious. How many friends did you lose?
Just 5.
Oh, really? That's actually interesting.
I thought it'd be more. Yeah,
I thought so too.
Pokemon Go, nobody.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Pokemon Go don't care. I mean, if you don't play for like a week, it's a different story. It's like I think I have like 80% of my friend list in Pokemon Go that don't even play anymore. I still keep them there for no reason. It's like it's just a thing, I keep also wanting to like send gifts every single day, but I keep forgetting about every single day. But even if I have the boost of like 40 gifts and all that stuff from the coin bundle and everything.
I will say the best thing about that is for opening gifts for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's okay. Anyways, let's get into our recaps. We have a bunch of things that have covered. We have started a brand new season. It's max out, so we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, which we already did last week too, but we definitely have more information for you guys today. So we have the brand new starters of Generation 8, the Gala region, based on England. If you haven't know that. But so we had all of that, plus we had 3P, which is the brand new Dragon Pseudo Legendary Pokemon in the wild. It's nice. It's rare. I think I only seen one in my nearby in the entire week so far. How about you?
I've seen a ton on the nearby, but they're far enough away that I'm just like, I can't
justify going another. I know. I feel you on that, brother. Like, I had one somewhat close, but I was like, maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go through my 10Ks tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hopefully hunt down a Dreepy because I'm off the next 2 days. Ooh. I should be able to get, I think, one Dreepy.
Nice. I mean, as long as they're new eggs and not old eggs.
Yes. Yeah. They're Dreepy eligible.
Nice. Cool. Which actually, the pool for 10K eggs is amazing. I'm actually, yeah, it's like if they finally took away all the redundant Pokemons, like the fossils and everything. So now we have like things like Draudigon, Gumi, Yamo is actually on the first tier list, which is actually amazing. Carving, and then on tier 3, one of the guys that don't know tier 2, we got Charcadet and Frigibask. Tier 4, we do have the brand new Trippy, and of course tier 5 is Larvesta, but it's actually a pretty good pool. I feel like with the more 10Ks you get, the more that you are happy about those. 5 kilometer X is also pretty nice because it's a small pool, including the Kamau, or the little log Pokemon, the slot Pokemon. Komala, thank you. I mean, we're not looking at elections, but you know. Anyways. But yeah, plus the starters, which is of course not shiny available at the time. I don't have a 2K egg to show, but I know that the list is pretty nice. I actually, sneak peek, I had a shiny Tyrant today.
A Tyrant?
Tyrog. The Hitmonchan.
Oh, Tyrog. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't say these words.
Man,
Tyrog.
I thought for sure you meant Tyrant the first time.
Tyrant! And I was like, it's a shiny Tyrant. I mean, that's cool though, but that's not the eligible eggs right now.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, that's been 2K silly.
Yeah. And it's an case, y'all. Anyways, we also had a sneak peek. I guess it's not a sneak peek anymore because you already told me. Failings Raid Day. It happened to this today from 2 to 5. I didn't really go insanely hard. I went for a good hour, maybe hour and a half, and then I called it. I didn't even go there like on the first, like I wasn't there at the minute before. Also because I had to record another podcast at the time, but yeah, it was just, failings. It was nice. I didn't really get my shiny until like rate 5 or 6, which is under odds. So that's nice. I did buy the ticket, so I did use all my free raid passes actually from in person. And yeah, I think I got 2 shiny failings. So I got you, brother. I got you.
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta see what you need in the future.
Give me that trippy. Anyway. I just hang out with one of our friends, Kiki. She was there, and everybody else was out and about, so we really didn't get like a big group going. Not hang out or not much after that. We said, okay, we call it bye, good night, and that's pretty much it. That was really this kind of raid days are exciting, but at the same time, unless the Pokemon is, it is new shiny, which is exciting. I just didn't feel like it was like super exciting as like a mega raid day or something. Mm-hmm. And I guess you don't have much experience about that either. In your dreams, brother, in your dreams.
Like it was interesting. It definitely wasn't like a crazy one.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to think of a situation you'd even like want to use a phalanx, but it's really the shiny chase for sure.
Yeah. I also got plus a shiny Jigglypuff. Shout out to Amanda.
That's fun.
Because she's like every time Jiggles, please shine, please.
Yeah. Were you rubbing it in her face?
Yeah, I was. And yeah, so we had I think, did we finish the whole? No, so Go Owl event still has another hour, or I'm sorry, another day and 12 hours to this. And then we'll have a brand new event right after that, which we'll talk about in a second. Which, actually, you guys already know what it is, so I don't know what I'm talking about anyways. Pokemon showcases for the starters. I just ended 2. I did get 2 first place on both Grookey and Scorbunny, and I got second in Subble, so I'm not devastated about that, but I'm only 3 away from finally getting my PhD Pikachu. I didn't know I was actually studying for that, but you know. How about you? Are you close on that medal or what?
I think I'm pretty far still.
Yeah.
I don't even want to look at it. I know I got like 20 to go.
Have you found many around your area that you can always like contest or anything?
It's definitely tough. I think the ones close to my work are better.
Yeah.
But like they're not horrible, but the one by my apartment, oh my gosh, dude. There's like 50 people always in there. There's so much traffic.
So it is a really heavy populated area of contesting showcases. So you'd really have to be in like a place where not a lot of people will be at, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about my shiny haul this week.
Okay, girl, come on.
Oh my god. Yeah, I ran into a shiny Machop.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, of course, this is the shiny I get when they release 2 new ones, right?
I know, right?
Squirrel and sheep. But I throw the ball at it, and it immediately busts out and runs away. And I'm like, please tell me that was the Go Plus catching it. And I checked the journal. I'm like, oh, okay, thank God it did catch it. Like, not that I need another Machop, but I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I hatched a shiny Igglybuff, and it was pretty funny because at the time Julie was using my phone, and I was like, "Oh, was it shiny?" And she was like, "No, it wasn't shiny." And then I looked back, and like I just happened to be going through my storage later. I was like, "Julie, you lied to me. It is shiny." She's like, "Well, I didn't know."
I mean, you can't blame her when the shiny is barely visible.
Yes, except I don't know. I feel like the sparkles when it hatched, but at the same time, she's not like glued to Pokemon Go the same way we are.
I mean,
then
you want to add real quick before you do that?
Yeah,
it's funny that she actually hatched a shiny Igglybuff when she got a shiny Jigglypuff in the main series.
Yeah. I was kind of looking at it and laughing when you were talking about the Jigglypuff you got.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's the week of Jiggly. And then I got a shiny Bayonet in the wild. That one, the shiny Mega Pokemon are always super cool to find in the wild.
Yeah, it's always amazing.
And then I hatched another shiny Togepi. So I'm like, yo, can we get a Tyrogue in there? You know.
Wait, are you still missing that?
I don't think I have a shiny Tyrogue yet.
Yeah. I mean, this is your season. I mean, I hatched one just pretty recently, so I might as well.
2Ks are really good right now too.
Yeah.
But the problem is I just after the ones I hatch, I just haven't been seeing them.
You just can get in the nursery, that's all.
Yeah. And then today I did a lucky trade for a shiny Buzzwole with Buster. And I traded him one of the Lapras from GoFest that we got.
Hey.
He calls it the Bill Nye Lapras because it has that big bow.
Bill Nye the science guy.
Yeah.
Bill. Now, oh my God! Here's the thing: it's like if anybody is listening to us right now and not know what that song is, you're too young for this podcast.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, oh my gosh! It was so long, like elementary school time.
Bro, elementary school?
It was elementary school for me. That was when he was out and about.
I guess so for me middle school, but whatever. I mean, it's middle school just because. I mean, even though I'm older than you, just because of how it's been portrayed, but that's because of my transfer here. But you know.
That's fair. I did. The Buzzwole ended up being a 12, 12, 15. I didn't need like a good IV one, but I wanted to try for a good IV Buzzwole because I already have the Hundo and I already had a shiny, but I was like, never too many Shundos.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good week. I was definitely excited when the shiny started rolling in because it was almost like one per day at the beginning.
That was nice. Oh, I guess I didn't notice this until I actually got it. I hatched a Hundo Vanillite. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even think about it until, and this was like yesterday too. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess I got another Hundo. That's pretty nice. It keeps the memory alive, you know.
Scoops.
So yeah, new shinies is always a thing to chase. Wooloo and Scorbet is nice to, see in the map and be like, oh, shiny. But it's been kind of like sad that I didn't get one yet. I'm still looking for it. However, though, we have some exciting moments here too, because as you could probably see in the map if you're here live, there's a little sparkly things around the map right now, just like waving their little sparkly powers. Yes, so we did get somewhat of an early introduction to DYNAMAX, or at least Max Particles, as we call it in Pokemon Go right now. If we click on any of this, what we call power spots, you get to see, the gym, or I guess the spot itself where something is going on in there or something is happening in there. If you are close enough to one of them and click on it, you actually are able to get the particles and collect them. If you go to your nearby, that's also been updated. And there is a place where it says power spot. So your nearby says power spot, the MP, which is the magical particles or whatever it's called.
I think it's max points, but I'm not sure. Or max particles? Is
max,
that right?
Yeah, it's max particles. Yeah, you're right. And there's also another one. It says done for me right now, but you do get to walk for a couple of extra max particles yourself. It's 2 kilometers, which is not bad. You get 300 max particles every time you do 2 kilometers. Even better. You do have a max of 1,000 max particles in total. And then once you connect the max, you have to use them before you collect any more. It's been an interesting ride since the release of this. And it's at first, okay, so we actually also got special research attached to this called Max Out Special Research. We completed part 1 and 2. I was actually on part 1 for just a little bit, like maybe a day or so. And I was about to end it because I think one of the tasks was like walk 5 kilometers or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I think it was during raid day, it kind of reset it. And we were like, hello? What's going on here, y'all? Niantic messed up. Or at least Niantic Cat messed up, just like we always say. And of course, they reset it. So they compensated us as like, we resolved the issue and we are going to complete part 1 and 2 for you guys. So you get encounters with a couple of special Pokemon. Have you actually finished that, Chris?
For which one?
For the Max Out Special Research. Are you...
if it's the 2 to max one, I'm at 2 out of 3. I need to spin 1 power stop.
But were you able to encounter your Pokemon, though?
I have 2 Wooloo right now that are DYNAMAX.
Yes.
That's what you mean.
Yeah. So we do have an encounter with a DYNAMAX Wooloo as one of part of the, or at least part 1 of the Max Out research. And we also encounter one once you complete the very first 1,000 max particles that you get from the nearby. So you get 2. It's pretty nice. Mine was not too keen, but it was like a 13, 15, 14. So it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you want to hold on to them all.
Yes.
Since we need to use DYNAMAX Pokemon.
Yes. The second, or at least the third Pokemon that you encounter from all this will be on page 2 once you complete it. Scorbet, or at least DYNAMAX Scorbet, will also be an encounter to this. Funny enough, all of this can be shinies. Every single one can be shiny. We weren't lucky enough for it, unfortunately, but it is how it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, Dynamax shinies are going to go pretty hard.
Well, we were talking about this in the Discord and many other places. This is just another way to keep the game alive for a lot longer, because this is just the introduction to it. We have over 1,000 Pokemon that can Dynamax, and about 30-ish plus they can Gigantamax.
Yeah.
So
Melmetal being one of them, yeah.
Right. So one of the things that a lot of people don't see, and I think that's they only see this mechanics as something else to do in the game, but don't really have any point to it, is that this is actually another way to collect Pokemons. You'll want to have every Pokemon able to Dynamax, and this is a fresh new start for all players. You don't get to Dynamax your previous Pokemons because they're already there. You're gonna have to find them eventually, and maybe some of them, the events moving forward will include things like, we'll go ahead and release Dynamax, I don't know, Goldengo at one point, or Melmetal at one point, and we'll allow you guys to encounter his Gigantamax form or something like that. It's kind of one of those things that you're wanting to do. We are still a little bit worried how the max battles are going to be, because we still don't have that information.
I'm nervous about it too,
yeah.
Especially because we can only go in with 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of strategy when it comes down to it. We'll talk about it in just a moment. There is a little bit of information about this, but it's just another collection way of doing things. It's like you want to have a Dynamax Pokemon shiny Hundo, maybe lucky. Could Mega if possible. You never know. It's just all those things that they are possible for this Pokemon and the collection way of Pokemon Go, which it's technically the gimmick of the game, right? It's the point of the game. You go out and collect.
Yeah.
It's very, very sense that they want to keep this as a forever game, and this is one step ahead of that game right now.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every main series game has one gimmick, right? That they like to rotate out.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Pokemon Go has a very unique thing of trying to incorporate all the different gimmicks. It seems like I don't know. We'll see eventually.
We have 2 out of the 4 gimmicks so far, which
do they put in Z moves? Do they put in,
sterilization,
stellar crowns?
Yeah. We will find out in future events, I'm sure. But this is just another way to keep us fresh with the game for a little while longer.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people just might not enjoy the different Dynamax Pokemon and everything. You don't need to do Dynamax, I'm sure. You can still enjoy the game every other way. I mean, you can be super vanilla and just straight up catch Pokemon all day. You don't have to raid.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I do like the availability to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I see that as a good way, because we're gonna have to strategize in this part of the game now, and we only 4 people, and the way that the moves work and the way the Pokemon Dynamaxes and all that stuff. There's really something out there that makes you think, and there's something for everybody. Just like the PvPers have their thing, just like the Shando or Shiny Chasers have a thing. The Raiders have a thing. Now we have another way of actually playing the game. That's what I really like the most. I'm excited because there's something new to do that hasn't been the same for the last almost 8 years at this point. So, and it's crazy to think that it's been 8 years and we're finally getting something that's actually going to change the meta in some ways. Some people are looking at it as why is this Pokemon here and there? Is that just another shiny, Charizard that we're going to get eventually? I'm like, yeah.
Another one.
And this time you can Dynamax it. Maybe at some point, maybe Gigantamax it at some point, It's and that's going to help you in the future events. Just and this is actually a great way to compare. Pokemon Sleep, you can always start at 0 and get to the higher levels later. But you're going to have to grind little by little to get there. It's going to be the same thing. Everybody's starting at 0 right now because of this. just because you have, 12,000 or 3,000 shinies, that doesn't mean that you can just, compete in this kind of thing. But you're going to have to start strategizing, maybe inviting some friends and be like, hey, I want to go ahead and do a couple of Dynamax battles. Who's with me? Let's do this. I like that. I really, really like that. And people are going to actually go a little crazy and then sending once this mechanic goes out. It's going to be interesting to see. Chris, you better come down soon.
Eventually. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they put this into events.
Yeah.
Dynamax battles are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into it. We're talking about how the game actually a good thing, but the research topic of today, the new big news are just basically how Dynamax really works. So let's get to it, okay? So go big with DYNAMAX. Colossal challenges await with max Pokemons and max battles. Breaking news, everybody. DYNAMAX Pokemons are emerging in the world of Pokemon Go. We already knew that. Anyways, I'm not going to read all of that because I can't get in there. The feature highlights. So we have new max Pokemons that can DYNAMAX. You can use DYNAMAX Pokemons to reach new heights, take on max battles, and catch even more DYNAMAX Pokemons. Trainers level 13 and higher will receive 2 DYNAMAX special research, which leads to encounters with DYNAMAX Pokemons to catch. These supersized new partners can help you take on your first max battles. Go out and scout power spots power spots the world. That's interesting how to say that. Watch as power spots emerge around you. Be advised, we learned that they may not appear in the same place twice. Reports indicate that DYNAMAX Pokemon will begin appearing at power spots starting on September 10 at 10 a.m. local time, which is 2 days from now. Then team up for max battles. Team up, take on max battles in a team of 4 trainers, attack, dodge, and cheer your way to victory. And then we have the highlights of max out with max particles. With newly discovered max particles, you can level up your Pokemon and max move and enter max battles and more. It's time to go and to the max. So we actually we already talked about the news of Go Big, which is basically the DYNAMAX thing and when it's happening and what's happening in those times. We have a mini trailer. Looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's all about the whole how you look at Blastoise against Charizard and all, or that Charizard, but Charmander and all that. You do have to use max particles to actually go to the raid itself, so that's gonna be interesting. How we gonna have to save up enough for the max battle, and then enough to be able to go up levels in your catch moves or your max move, I should say.
I do feel better about them time gating it this way than legit locking you out in a quest though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. DYNAMAX Pokemon are making the Pokemon Go debut. You can take them on in max battles, accompanied by a new piece of featured music inspired by the Pokemon Sword and Shield games for Nintendo Switch. This piece was arranged by Junichi Masuda, Pokemon video game series composer and chief creative fellow of the Pokemon Company. Gotta love it when you see that Junichi is actually part of the of any event in that regard.
Yeah, love Masuda.
Yeah. So they show a picture of both Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur all, with their max move, how you level up the Pokemons. It says that the phenomenon is there, much larger, surrounded by mysterious red glow and swirling clouds overhead. You do get to partner with your own DYNAMAX Pokemon in order to defeat power spot bosses. Select one of your DYNAMAX Pokemon and use Candy and Max Particles to unlock Max Move. And level up the moves for stronger effects. Working on Max Move World War experience. I did see that when it came down to it. DYNAMAX Pokemon can learn up to 3 Max moves and attack, Max Spirit, and Max Guard. While a Pokemon is DYNAMAX, their first Max move is a powerful attack that's based on the type of their fast attack. Okay, that's interesting. Based on their type of the fast attack. So that means that you really want to actually have a Pokemon that has something effective against the Pokemon that you're going against. So let's say you're going against a Charmander. If you use a Squirtle or Blastoise that can DYNAMAX, you want to have a water fast type move instead of an ice type or bite. So it won't be, because all max moves will technically turn from their base fast move. So if you have a dark one, it will turn dark. If you have a water type, you have a water one. All in shabam and the thing. So Max Spirits heals both of the Pokemon that used it and their allies. That's nice. And Max Guard reduces damage taken from opposing power spot bosses. In some way, you do want to have all three. Maybe we'll have a strategy between your friends of seeing if somebody will have one or the other. Maybe one will carry because they have the Max Guard at one point. I've been working on my Wooloo since I got it.
Same.
And that's because at the same time I need to start working on something, and the max particles do kind of capped at one point.
Yeah, if it's capped, you might as well be using it to power up the Dynamax Wooloos that we already have.
Yeah, at least to work on something for now, since it's the very first partners that we're getting for this. So I do have Max Strike and Max Guard maxed out already. I am working on Max Spirit, but I am waiting for the release of the next part of the special research, because one of them is saying to level up a Max Move, and I'm almost there. And I'm only working on the Wooloo. I haven't worked on anything else, just because I do have a cap of how many Max Particles I can get per day. As for what we know, it's about 800 Max Particles total per day. However, you can stack it in a way that allows you to get over 1,000. And this is if you can collect about 110, 120 from max spots.
It should be 120 is what I've heard.
120 if it's a brand new max spot. If it's something
brand new?
Yeah. If it's one that you already, got it, like basically like a Pokestop at that point, you get, I think, 10 less at that point. But that's the thing. It's like you want to just grab about 500 max particles from power spots, and then go ahead and claim your 2 kilometer max particles, which is 300. That's something, in some way that allows you to get up to 1,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe 600 or so. And that allows you to at least have first and foremost, max particles for the time that you're there, get your Wooloo encounter, and then after that, use the max particles before the next day. So that way you can collect more. At that point, you're not going to be able to collect anymore. And if you because if you do collect all 800 max particles through just the power spots, you cannot collect any more at all at the end of by the day itself. I think that's actually going to change once the max battles actually start populating.
Same.
But
I think they just don't want us to have a huge stack of particles when it starts.
That's true, and mostly because you can level up a max move to the max, and you require a lot of them, even more than you can actually collect. So I know that they're thinking of like, okay, let's wait until the feature comes out, let's plan it out later and there, and then release a little bit more at the time for that reason. So it's possible. There you go. There's more information about that either. So max particles can appear throughout the world. Trainers can collect max particles by scouting the spots and interacting with power spots. Trainers can also collect max particles in the wild each day by exploring, including with Adventure Sync. Keep an eye on the nearby menu for collecting, which is what we talked about, the 2 kilometers. Trainers can only store a certain amount of max particles with a limit on how many can they collect per day. That's what we talked. And then trainers can also visit the in-game shop and web store for packs that contain max particles. I'm still worried about the price tag about this. I think we'll see more once they release that information. Okay, so power spots are benevolent locations. That's interesting. That emit max particles. They may even contain Dynamax Pokémon that you can take on max battles. These locations also enable your own Dynamax Dynamax Pokémon to Dynamax. Be sure to scout the power spots with your community with the mysterious nature of max particles. I just thought of something. Can you, because I know we're going to need max particles to enter a max battle. If you do it with friends, maybe the battle itself will also drop a couple of max particles that you can use. Maybe just enough to really do another one with your friends. And if you keep going with your friends for a while, you should be able to do as many as possible instead of waiting for how many you can collect per day. Now, don't quote me until we actually see the event actually happen. And if they still have a limit, that means that they don't want us to do too many at once.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, you're going to want to grind this, but it's this time you're going to have to hold yourself back on this.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. So it shows on the picture, like, the Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle Dynamax battles. They don't show the names of the place, but of course the names are there. It shows that you can battle with 250 max particles. So keep around 250 every time, although at least one. That's interesting. It's also because, you have to use the max particles to level out the moves. So you're going to have to know when you want to do it and when you cannot do them, so.
Yeah, I think diversity is definitely key, at least for getting one of each, and then shiny hunt whichever one, or, hunt whichever one after that.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it says any trainer with at least one Dynamax Pokemon in their battle party can take a max battle and select power spots. Up to 4 trainers can band together to increase their chances of success. Only Dynamax Pokemon can be using max battle, so be sure to complete to the max special releases to catch your first few Dynamax Pokemons, which we did. It's nice. Sorry, Drowsy's funnel here. Snorlax is behind me for some reason. Anyways, each trainer max use a certain amount of max particles to engage in battle, depending on the power of the power boss, spot boss. Don't be discouraged. Max particles can only be used up to when successfully. Wait, hold on. Max particles are only used up when you successfully take down the boss. So keep pushing toward victory. Okay. I do like that, because if you do fail to take it down, you're not using the particles that you wanted to use. I like that. That's a good idea. Good thinking. Keep going, please. Keep an eye on the meter. Once it's full, your Pokemon will Dynamax for 3 turns. Okay, interesting. It says swipe to dodge attacks from the opponent power spot boss. A prompt will appear over your Pokemon if the boss is targeting you, so be ready to dodge. Okay, so it can target any of your friends that allow you to do the max boss, or maybe all the Pokemon, whatever Pokemon you have at the time. As you spot energy icons on the battlefield, swipe to collect them to fill up the meter even faster. Okay, so it's like a mini game, basically. I mean, that's all it is, Pokemon Go anyways. If all of your Pokemon's faint while battling a 3-star or higher power spot boss, you'll still have a fighting chance. You can cheer for your teammates so they can meter their field faster. So yeah, the same thing that you do.
I remember that. Yeah.
Anyways, this is actually a pretty important point. You do want to know how to really battle the boss, and at the same time, there's actually one little line says here, it's like if you're battling at 3-star or higher power spots. So that means that there's tiers to this. We knew about it just because I know Charizard, Venusaur and Blastoise are part of the trailers and everything, but something higher than a 3-star can prompt for legendary Pokemon to appear.
Oh man.
So that's actually pretty exciting in that regard. Can you imagine a Mega Dynamax Pokemon too?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think they'll go that far, but some of the 5-stars will probably also be the Gigantamax Pokemons at that point.
Yeah, if they... I mean, I guess we'll know as soon as the starters come out if you'll be able to Dynamax and Mega them. But
I mean, you can evolve your Wooloo into its evolution, and you still be able to Dynamax.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like when we get Charizard,
yeah,
we still have the Mega energy, so we'll see. Like with the Dynamax and everything, you might be able to Mega it and then Dynamax it when it's not Mega, or vice versa. I'm curious if you catch it from a Dynamax 1, if they completely block out the Mega though.
We're gonna find out on the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun. It's actually super exciting to get this information, so that's amazing,
Yes.
It says here, max out rewards. Defeating a power spot boss will donate you rewards. Trainers can use Pokecoins to upgrade their rewards so it receive even more. So we knew about this. The rewards looked like to just be golden raspberry, regular candy, and then super potions and all that stuff. I'm sure that once you do like higher tier ones, you get better rewards.
Yeah, I'm really curious for the legendaries. I already know a lot of people are going to be spending coins because they're going to be like, I don't want it to run.
Oh god, that's gonna be another crazy.
I'm not doing that.
No,
it's got to be a good Pokemon for me to do that on, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we see it, at least, It also shows like
because you probably see the CP beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, if you see a Honda. Yeah.
I mean, if you only get 10, that's actually really tough, though. Like,
That's true.
And
For a legendary.
For a legendary, yeah, it's gonna be tough unless they give us the chance to get more and more. So it's gonna be interesting.
I guess pseudos would be kind of hard too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing those either, but we'll see when it comes to that. So it says upon victory, you get trainers can place one of their Pokemons from their battle party at the power spot to earn candy and give future trainers a damage bonus. Interesting. Rewards are sent to trainers upon their Pokemon's return from the power spot, which happens either after they assist in enough max battles or after a power spot closes. So there.
Okay. So the timer plays another role.
Yes, I mean that's the reason why we're only seeing timers in the power spots right now, but that's because they'll continue to be around, but they'll disappear and reappear in different places. Which that's something that we'll discuss in a bit about the weird places that we've seen them. The more Pokemon that are placed on power spot, the bigger the attack bonus for other trainers taking on the power spot boss. Plus, more Pokemon placed on a power spot may also increase the chances of a wild encounter around the power spot. Interesting. Trainers can only station a limited number of Pokemon at power spots, and each power spot can contain a limited amount of Pokemon total from different trainers. I mean, it makes sense. Just like a gym system at that point. Trainers will encounter the power spot boss and have a chance to catch it. Watch as your Pokemon temporarily powers up to throw. Yeah, we've seen that already. That's interesting. I like that. Let's say you have a big group. Because again, you only have four trainers this time around. Not like 20 trainers for a raid or something like that anymore. If you do beat it, you are allowed to put a Pokemon in there, and that means that it helps out the next group after that. Now, of course, anybody can really probably do a max battle. It's not like they're locking the gym just to that specific 4 every time somebody's battling it. So I'm sure that that's gonna work out through the advantages of how and when do we really go in to do a battle in the end of the day. My question is like, will that Pokemon that you put in the power spot to help the other players, would that be like a gym and saying you cannot use it unless that Pokemon is taken down from the gym or from that specific power spot?
All I'm saying is I'm probably just putting in Wooloos after I get the other one.
It really depends on that point. You also get the brand new wristband, the maxed out avatar item, which is the band, like the Beckham. And then stay tuned for In the Loop and join the conversation for other trainers of the globe about using Pokemon Go and max battles. So interesting. It's actually very interesting when we looked at this. Now we know we have to have the right moves every time we send out the Pokemon. We know that we have to max out our moves so that way we do better damage and defend ourselves better from the boss. We know we can place Pokemon after a max battle is there, and we know the rewards technically in the sense that will allow you to monetize this game in some ways. So I don't know. I'm very excited. Like there's really something to this that comes with. I know there will be more to it. I mean, this is just the beginning. We're just trying it out. We're trying to see how it works. Once those 3 stars, 4 stars, legendaries, all those things start coming out, that's when it really gets exciting. So, any more thoughts, Chris?
Not really. Pretty much as soon as it comes out, I'm just gonna be looking through everything, seeing what works best, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think the key is just trying to get one of each type, so you can take on each of the starters a lot easier after you get them all. Because obviously it's a trio: fire, water, grass. So water for fire, grass for water, and vice versa. So yeah, that's going to be my priority, at least, like getting one of each and then powering them up slowly, and then I'll feel a lot better than putting it into them instead of putting it into a Wooloo.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna appreciate this Wooloo. I'm very happy to have easy Dynamax Pokemon, but oh my god. It's no Charizard.
I mean, it's just when you begin the game the first time and you pick your first Pokemon, it's trash IVs, and you're probably just gonna trade it or do something else with it in the end of the day. Unless you have a really big sentimental value, which I didn't because I didn't keep mine. But it's one of those things in the end of the day that will allow you to keep on growing with those kind of like times and everything. All right. Well, we'll definitely have more information next week once this whole feature really goes out and takes a punch at us. So we're going to give more information about that. Some miscellaneous news. First and foremost, we actually wanted to talk about where the power spots are actually appearing. I don't know what system they're using for this. Some people are saying that there's there's another like open maps feature that they use like for gyms and points of interest. But the power spots are appearing mostly in businesses. A lot of businesses that we don't typically see, like a gym or stop or anything like that. And it's kind of interesting in some ways. Some people from, or at least our friends from the Waste Spotter podcast in the Professor Network, pointed out that they're being in places that you don't want to see them. It's kind of like, okay, it's there for a reason, but I won't say the names because we're a friendly podcast. But there's definitely been some weird out spots that one thing I can kind of say is that the Wayfair community or the Waste Spotters community or anybody and that's doing that, they're in disarray right now. They don't know what the hell is happening. I've seen it in the highways too. Well, actually not in the full highways, but I've seen them in street roads and everything. And that's because there used to be a business somewhere close by, and I'm just like, that's not fun. Especially for a lot of people. Let's say one of the biggest, baddest legendaries comes out of one of them. I'm just like, okay, so we're gonna cause traffic for the rest of the day, aren't we?
Oh my gosh, dude, it's gonna be weird when they start doing some crazy DYNAMAX battles for sure.
Yeah. Well,
they might actually have to change it more. Yeah.
I may actually have to get the Waste Spotters to come in and explain a few things for us here. So we may get a couple of guests coming up pretty soon. So that'll be pretty nice. And then one last other piece of miscellaneous news that we have is that Niantic tweeted out an interesting tweet saying, trainers, we have launched improvements to the raid battles to increase stability, reduce latency, and provide the ability to expand them in the future. This may affect the timing of some Pokemon moves. We are monitoring these changes and your feedback and may adjust them over time. So if you haven't actually rated in a good minute in the last month or so, you can probably have told that there's been a lot of changes to the raid bots itself and the Pokemon that you've been using. Now, if you're battling with 20 people or so, there hasn't really been a change there because with 20 people, you really can't just take anything down at this point. But let's say you go with 3 to 4 people. Now, I have seen videos. I have seen people talking about what's going on. The first change that they did is how fast the raid boss actually triggers their charge move. Previously, it usually would say, hey, in about 20 turns, I'm going to go ahead and throw a charge move at you. Let's say Kyogre chases a Blizzard at us. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll dodge right there and then. If you haven't really noticed, there's not much timing to dodge anymore. I've been trying to do a couple of things there, and then it's just been failing tremendously. There's another video out there from a player who's notably in X and all that stuff. And it shows the Kyogre literally spamming Blizzard. It was not even, it doesn't even do a waterfall attack anymore. It was just like Blizzard, 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 Blizzard. I'm like, are you seeing this? I know. It's crazy. It was crazy to see when that one was happening. Like literally all their Pokemons were being knocked out. They had to use insane amount of revives to even just get a couple parties out there if you really are doing it with only a couple people. And then one last thing has been a lot of the changes to the movesets when they're being used when you're in the raid battle. So a lot of the Pokemon that used to be battleable. Example, Cortana being one of the best grass attackers out there for raids, literally became like the number 10 at that point. Very, very interesting of what the changes are. And that's what that's the issues that we're seeing with a lot of the players out there. Again, if you have a lot of people actually do the raid with you, you really don't feel too much to just bring a regular party, maybe the recommended party at that point, which I've been doing since forever now at this point. But if you really are looking into doing some really tough battles, but with only a few people, just be very careful of what you're looking into. Any thoughts on that, Chris?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I do. I agree with a lot of the people on Twitter that they should have announced it the second that they implemented it, like implement all the changes to, the timing and stuff of attacks and everything. So, I'm kind of weirded out by that. I'm glad they did end up saying something, but it is kind of weird they waited a few days.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting. I mean, the communities definitely showed interest in what was going on, but then after Niantic tweeted, we're like, okay, well, why not before and not after?
Yeah.
It's like, I hope that this implementations does give raids a little bit more thought process, but again, it's simply as like just get a big group out there and then you'll be fine. So that's why you gotta bring a big community out there, guys. Just bring a big community. Create that community, y'all. Come on, that's all I'm saying. And yeah, that's pretty much it on miscellaneous. I don't think there's any more information yet. As far as I know, there was as soon as tomorrow hits at 10 a.m. the third part of the max out special research actually will unlock if you haven't completed the part 1 and 2, and you'll be able to complete that, which I think one of them was participating in the max battle, and we don't have that until the 10th, so that's interesting that they unlocked it right now. All right, real quick, we'll get into our PvP section. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go, Chris. So GBL with the max out season has actually made a huge change in the PvP meta. I want to hear your thoughts, Chris. What have you discovered so far?
Nothing.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much yet. I am definitely interested in the DYNAMAX system though.
Yeah.
Like they haven't announced any cups for it yet, but now that I think of it, I don't remember too much about a Mega Cup either. I think they were just in an open Master League for a bit, right?
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see like those kinds of cups introduced, because it's like we're spending all these resources on Mega Pokemon and all our time and energy, and now we're going to be doing it with DYNAMAX Pokemon. So it would be fun to battle other people using it, but I'm very interested in because of like the different things you can do for a DYNAMAX battle, if that would even like be something that people would want to do, with max healing and max guard and stuff like that. I'm very interested.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I almost don't see how it could happen. at least in Pokemon Go.
I'm not sure either when it comes down to the PvP scene, just because they're still trying to keep the PvP scene fresh, and that's good because all these changes in this season has actually really pointed out in something like your hard hitters like Registeel or Cresselia. They're at the bottom of the list right now, saying nobody's using. Yeah, they're not using things anymore. They're using things like Clocksire or Malamar. It's been really interesting to see a shake up to it, and the switch timer has also been a great interpretation. Even though a lot of people are saying it's like, hey, this may get boring pretty soon, but at least it's getting fresh to understand that PvP is still out there for y'all. So it's been a lot of back and forth with the community, understanding how big this change has been to them. So we're gonna have to adjust, even for any of the other leagues at that point. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. We're still waiting on more Petco and things like that. So we'll figure it out when we get there. And after that, it's pretty much off to the races with PvP. Again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much after that. Chris, anything that you want to share before the end of the video?
I don't believe so. Just a lot to look forward to the next few days. Definitely looking forward to doing some Dynamax battles. Definitely looking forward to talking about our experiences next week on that. But yeah, nothing really comes to mind. Just very interested in what's being introduced into Pokemon Go.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out there for y'all. All right, with that being said, thank you so much for listening, everybody. It's been fun once again to talk with Chris about things, because Pokemon Go is a thing. And Pokemon Go is a mean at the end of the day, but thank you so much for listening, everybody. You can always check us out in our podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Yeah, I forgot that Google Podcasts I don't think is a thing anymore, but we'll figure it out anyways. Apple Music and all those places. Please leave us a review if you can. Follow our social media, myself at Pure Let It Go, Chris at PKMN Trigger Please with a C at the end. Heck yeah. And then also anything for the Purified podcast. We're also there on Twitter. Or X. I guess we'll call it X now because it's not Twitter anymore. You can email us anything to the purifiedpodcast@gmail.com. You can join our Discord. It is free to join, but you all can also join our Patreon exclusive Discord for as little as $1 a month. That will get you access to the Pokemon Professor exclusive Discord. It's a fantastic place for fantastic people. And just don't forget to check us out at the PokemonProfessor.com/purifiedpodcast. Anywhere down below for that. Chris, take us away for the night, please.
Right. Yeah, it's been a fabulous week, and I think we're all looking forward to going big or going home. So yeah,
I want to go home.
Yeah, go home and sleep. So yeah, thank you guys very much for listening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. And we're hoping to catch you guys next week with even more news about Dynamax Pokemon. So peace out, guys. See you then.
Keep purifying them, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.